Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for a new series on New Frontier's Forestry Edition. It is going to be a start from scratch, or nearly scratch. I call it scratch because we only have $5,000, a chainsaw, and a truck and trailer. Now I have come up with a little bit of a backstory, but before we get into that, I'll show you some changes I made here on the map, just because it felt a little odd to have like this farmer's market and the animal dealer and sawmill just plunked here in the middle of nowhere. So I put a few dwellings around just to kind of give it a little bit of a lived-in feeling. So we'll just go in flight mode here. So along over here, I put a couple houses with some decoration. I also put in a road that heads off the map to the west. That heads to the main town, which is about 8 miles from here. I also put another little dwelling over here by the animal dealer with a few decorations. We don't have a lot available right now, but I did throw some stuff in. Like I said, just kind of didn't think that these structures would be sitting out here in the middle of kind of nowhere. There had to be a reason for them to be here. And then at the sawmill again, I put a couple decorative buildings in, and then a actual shelter, another residence with a few decorations. So it's just to kind of support the storyline a little bit, and like I said, kind of gives a reason for this stuff to be here. So what is the storyline? Let's get back on the ground here. So my grandfather lives in the town I mentioned to the west of here, and he's actually quite well off. And at one time, this was kind of a booming place. You can see there are a lot of trees around, and they had built the sawmill, and they started actually building a town area kind of over by the shop. We'll head there in a minute and take a look. But just as things were getting going, there was a big fire and it got burnt out. So there's a few areas that have been logged free, but they decided not to rebuild here, and they most people relocated to the town to the west. And unfortunately, the area kind of died. The farmers market has survived, largely because of a recreational traffic out here. This is a pretty good recreation area from what I understand. The sawmill, though, is hanging on by its teeth. The animal dealer is not doing too bad because there's obviously farms located between here and the town to the west. But the east of us here, pretty much barren wilderness. And no one really took it upon themselves to continue on here. Now, my grandfather had invested quite heavily, and if we kind of look at a view of the map here, he owns a fair bit of land that he was planning on developing over in here, and he actually has a building site where he was thinking of putting a log cabin, and he was going to clear this off and put start a farm in here. But when kind of everything went south, he kind of lost interest, and he carried on with his other business ventures. So he has actually gifted that to us. He knew that I was kind of disillusioned in the corporate world, so to speak, and so I sold out, and all I came out with was $5,000 and this old international truck that was actually my grandfather's, and he passed it to my dad, and my dad passed it to me, and I restored it. And just an interesting fact, in real life, I had a vehicle very much like this. It wasn't the pickup. It was called the International Scout Terra. It was a 79. And if you're familiar with those, it was actually just a Scout Traveler, which is like a smaller version of what would then been the Chevy Suburban. but it was a little smaller, turned into a pickup truck. And it was kind of this color. I had a white topper on the back that actually came with it from the factory, and I put a lift kit on it and had some big knobby tires on it. It was a pretty neat vehicle. Drove it for a long time. I got it from my one brother-in-law, and when I was done with it after several years, my other brother-in-law took it. By that time, it was for parts. These things are hard to keep in nice condition. They are bad for the rust. I did the rust on it a couple times, and then I gave up on it. So, anyways, we got sidelined there a bit. So we have our old international pickup truck, and my grandfather suggested I bring some kind of trailer, so I did buy this trailer. That and a chainsaw and $5,000 is all we have. Now, there is a building on Grandpa's property, old shed. He said we could probably, make do, camp out in for a while. Like I said, there's a building site there for a log cabin that he just barely got started. But the reason I cleared out everything and got debt free, because my grandfather suggests, if we're going to make a go of it here, that if we can, we buy the sawmill. This is barely hanging on. We could probably get a pretty good deal on it. And there's a lot of logs on our property, and we could, take advantage of that. And excuse me. He said if he was a young man, that's what he would do. So that's what we're thinking of doing. But let's jump in the old International here. And we'll head down past where the old town site was. And then we got to head across country. I've got some instructions, but we're just going to have to kind of follow the map, because there's no road or anything out to that property. So there's no contracts. So we don't need to have any worry about whether or not we can lease vehicles or not to do contracts. But leasing vehicles is going to be fine. Borrowing money is going to be fine. And we're just going to see what we can accomplish here. So this is where the original town site was that burnt down. There is one dwelling left here in this area, and this is where the farm shop and garage was. And I've talked to the dealer in town, and he's willing to deliver out here if we need something. So we've got this available to us. So now our property is to the south and to the east of here. And like I said, we've got to kind of just crawl across country and see if we can make our way to it. I think one of the first orders of business will be try and get a track put in. So we literally have to weave our way through the trees here, apparently. There is some open area, like some logging was done, because Grandpa said the whole valley was pretty much treed. Most people were here just for the logging, but his long-term vision was to yes, take advantage of the logging, but to get a farm established. And that sounds just fine by me. I'm tired of the corporate rat race. Now we should be getting close. There's a pretty good sized meadow here. Don't think it's on our property though. It would be nice if we were able to make something of this while Grandpa's still around and he could see the results. Well, now it appears we're on our property, so we've got to find this shed that is somewhere over here. Oh, I think I see it. Well, that is it. This is the new home. Well, I see there's some lights, so you must have a generator someplace. Oh, look at this. Now, he never said anything about there being water on the property. Oh, this is kind of nice. I like that. This is a nice area. So now he owns down, well, he did, we do now, down in this direction here. It's nice and flat. So this will make a good farming area. Now he said the build site was up on the hillside, kind of behind the shed. So I'm going to guess it's up here. The stream runs right down there. Nice, nice, nice. Oh, I think I see it up there. Oh, this is a nice area. A little bit of a lake. Probably spring fed, I bet. Yep, this looks like the build site where he was planning on putting his cabin. Oh, yes, that does look like a nice location up here on the hill. And I think we have a little bit of property down here on the backside as well for a ways. Looks like it's a little more open. Maybe not as flat, but it's definitely like we could mow this. It's a little patchy, all right, but we could get some grass out of here. Have to do a little dirt work though in spots. I see it's a little uneven here in places. We don't have any equipment to do that right now, but maybe in the future. Yeah, this is all right. It's going to take a lot of work to turn this into a farm. It's going to have to be a lot of trees bite the dust. Now I do have a good credit rating, and I cleared off all my debt, so I can borrow a pretty good chunk of money. So that'll help us get started. And you know, if my grandfather says he thinks it'd be a good investment if we're serious of buying that sawmill, I think we'll probably do that. Well, where do we start? Which trees are going to be our first victims here? Well, I guess I better get out of my city duds here and get some working clothes on. So I'll do that, and I'm interested in taking down a tree or two and see what we can get for it at the sawmill. and then we'll consider our future from there. So I will see you in just a few minutes. Well, this looks like more appropriate attire for what we're going to be up against here. But I realized I forgot to talk about the game settings, but they're pretty much my usual fare. But we can take a quick look at them here. Playing in real time for the month of August. I'm going to go 3-day months. I guess we can actually turn traffic off. There's no traffic on here. We're going to play on normal just because I'm already involved in a couple long series. Well, one long series, I guess I should say. But so we're going to play normal so we can kind of hopefully keep things moving along. I really did hesitate to start another long run series, but I'm basically only playing on Riverbend right now, which I really enjoy. But I didn't want to get bored on there. I wanted to do something different. And I did a No Man's Land that I kind of abandoned, and I feel bad that I did. So I wanted to do something like that. Here we are. We'll give it a try. This will probably one of those things that it'll hang around, and after some point will probably, the frequency will drop off, but it'll kind of always be there and will pop up every once in a while. So anyways, sorry, sidetracked again. Seasonal growth, snow on, all of the good stuff on, disasters on, and all the other stuff off. So like I said, pretty much standard fare here for me, other than I quite often will play on hard when I'm doing animals, but at least for the forestry portion of our program, we're going to stay on normal. So I took a look around and took a look at the map, and what I've decided is we are going to kind of work north from here initially. The terrain is flat already, and if we want to be putting in fields and or mowing grass, that sort of thing, we have much less to do, and with the larger chunk of property out this direction. Now, the piece that's south of the cabin, it's going to take more work. We even saw that it was a bit more uneven, so it's going to take some heavier equipment that we just don't have to get that flattened out. We could kind of mow around it because it's got a bit of an open area there already, and at some point we will be doing that. But for now, I think we're going to work in this direction. Now, at some point, we need to mark ourselves off a trail into town, and actually, that looks like that might be a good shot right through there, and then get us a track that we can follow. But for now, we're just going to knock down a couple trees here and see what we can sell them for. Oops, flashlight's not going to do us much good. We might need that tonight if I can't get the generator going. So I have, oops, I've got the lumberjack mod on, so I'm not going to be using super strength to load in the logs or anything, but I will use it to get rid of these stumps for now. We may get a more appropriate stump removal system in the future, but now it's all we got. But we would be able to take with a chainsaw and grind these up enough that at least we could mow across them. Oh, that's interesting. Now, let's see if we can get this sucker de-limbed. This is a little trickier than it was in actually, I did it like this, didn't I? Oops. If we get lined up here. Oh no. Oh, I didn't have that issue before, but maybe it's because this tree is bouncing. Well, maybe we won't try and crouch. Maybe we'll just run. Will it work? Well, I got some of them anyway. But I found if you crouched and ran along the tree, it did a pretty good job, usually. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of course, got to make a liar out of me, doesn't it? I don't know, we'll try. Might be because this is a little different tree, too, I think. Oh, we're getting it. Well, we'll be good at this, I'll tell you, by the time we get done, because um, I'm not looking at any big forestry equipment upgrades anywheres in the real near future. I wonder if we can get some of these, because these are going to be a nuisance to load. Yeah, it's not quite as good as it was in 22, I must say. Well, maybe that's something they'll work on. All right, now, like I said, I'm not going to use super strength, so... Oh, we have to have the menu up to see that, don't we? What do you think? Let's try 1.5 meters. Well, we'll give it a go and see what that weighs, if we can lift that. Come on. There we go. Oh, yes. And I don't think in third person I can actually lift that, can I? Come on. Now, why am I not? Well, isn't this going swimmingly? I did cut down a tree just to make sure I knew what I was doing, and that actually went pretty good. This is not going well at all. All right. Let's try another one. And we'll go 1.5 meters again. Now, why am I... Interesting. Well, let's actually turn super strength on and see if that makes a difference. Okay, how much is that? Well, maybe it's too heavy, because that's 274. So maybe that's what the issue is. Ah, okay. Okay, I get it. Well, we've already cheated, so we'll get these loaded up. And we'll cut the next one shorter. It's funny, it used to come up and say object too heavy, and now I guess it just doesn't give you the symbol to lift it. Yeah, live and learn, as they say. Okay, so maybe we'll do a meter. But first, let's go, and we will turn super strength back off. Okay. So let's go up to a meter. Oh, that's what it was. All right. Boy, 1 meter at a time, that's going to be quite a few hunks of tree, isn't it? Of course, I should have taken note of what that one weighed. Because as we move down the tree, we can start making them longer. That one was 136, so we probably could have gone a 1.5 on that. Don't know why I'm trying to scroll with my mouse. That is just awkward. Oops. So we will go back to 1.5 again. And we should be able to stay at that for a while. Now I'm thinking we can probably go to 2 meters, because it's getting quite a bit thinner up here. Trouble is all these different lengths are going to be a little awkward to load. Now, I think wood chips sell pretty well on this map, but unfortunately that's a pretty good investment in equipment to be able to do that, which is unfortunate unless some, you know, mods come out with some older gear that's a little cheaper. Well, I think that should do. Let's try getting that loaded up. Well, sorry about that kerfuffle there at the beginning. I guess one tree was not a sufficient practice, and I just, as luck had it, it was a fairly small tree. I just randomly picked and whacked it down just to make sure I knew how to use a chainsaw. Well, I think we're okay there. Man, I don't know why. I can rotate with my mouse. I don't normally, but I'm just because I use it to pick up, I'm kind of run with it. It's awkward as heck. I don't normally use it. My problem though. Now we should be able to get a couple trees on here, I'm thinking. At least. Wonder if we can get that sucker off of there. Let's try. It wants to move every time we get close. Let's try from this end here. No, oh. Doesn't look like it's going to let us get a hold of that. Oh boy, that's ugly. We'll put that over here on this side of the trailer. Or not. Oh. Can we grab that? No. Well, it is what it is. Like she says, you're a little ugly. I'm going to have to buy that sawmill because otherwise it's going to be too embarrassing hauling this stuff down there. Stuff branches sticking out everywhere. I'm going to think I'm a freaking lunatic. Which is probably not far wrong. Well, that's not going to last. Never thought of using that button. Now, I haven't really done any logging on PC, so I'm used to doing all this with my PS5 controller. But I just found a button on my steering wheel that is a little more convenient than using my mouse. Things should be a little more fluid now, hopefully. Boy, the delimbing on this tree was horrendous. I might want to take and drop this off at night. Oh, that one might cause me problems. Look at that. Oh, man. I'll try, but I doubt we'll get us. No, nothing at all. Oh, this is ridiculous. Could that be the trick? No, just not going to get anything off of those at all. That's probably why they didn't delimb. No, this doesn't appear like we've... No, that's just cutting into the log down below. Well, it looks like it is what it is for now. Maybe need to spend more time trying to delimb these things. This seems like they... Oh, there, that one went. Well, maybe guys just got to be a little more persistent on the ground, not give up so soon. Oh, that can't be too heavy, is it? That piece there. Apparently so. Yeah, we'll cut her in about half, maybe. Of course. Oh my goodness. Well, isn't that something? Now, glad Grandpa isn't here to see this. Wouldn't he be proud? You know what we should do before we forget is we should try and get rid of this stump. Or we'll find it when we're trying to plow. Or mow or whatever we're doing. Oh boy. Well, what the heck is that going on there now? I tell you what, I'm going to leave you guys there. I'm going to take some of these suckers off of here and see if I can't try and delimb them. Otherwise, we're going to have to haul this mess just like this to the sawmill. I'll give them a false name or something. So let me see if I can't do something with this off camera, and I'll bring you back. Well, there we go, guys. I did manage to get those delimbed. You just have to be persistent. And I found with those ones where it wanted to fall through the floor all the time, I just dropped them on top of another log so they stayed even just a little bit above ground, and that seemed to do it. But you just gotta, you can't rush it. You just gotta be a little bit patient, but you will get it. I went and checked the time. I cannot believe how long I mucked around with that. So I apologize. I hope I didn't scare anybody off. But, you know, start from scratch is meant to be a struggle. And we struggled. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick another victim here and get it loaded on. Should be able to get one more tree on between the trailer and the truck. And then we'll go sell it and see what we get. And then we'll have to call that about an episode because... we're at about 35 minutes already. So I will catch you when I get a full load. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, we're down here at the sawmill, and there are our two trees. And the second tree took a fraction of the time that the first one did because you guys weren't watching it, obviously. But no, it went much better. It's the same type of tree. The delimbing went better. I only had a couple that had some limbs that were in the ground, And then, like I said, just setting them up on a log beside it actually worked pretty darn good. Um, so I wish I recorded that one and not the first one, although it might not have been entertaining as the first one was. Now, uh, this sawmill here is sitting on county land. I forgot to show you that. So this is set up as a multiplayer because you have to own the land when you're putting placeables and that on it. So the county owns this land. There's us there, but the sawmill is available for us to buy. So I made a few phone calls also. So I talked to the bank, and they're starting to do their investigations regarding the sawmill, or the purchase of it, I should say. I talked to the county, and they said for $8,000, if we marked a trail out to our place, they would come and grade it, and at least we'd have a dirt path to follow. So I want to make enough cash just from selling the trees to the sawmill, to the current owners, to cover that $8,000 at least. And I also talked to the vehicle shop in town and asked them to be on the lookout for us for a cheap old tractor that we could put a front loader on, preferably. Oh, didn't get all of that off the trailer. I don't know if I can move ahead a little bit more. Because if we can sell longer logs, we'll make more money. So there, we're almost at our 8,000 bucks already. But I am going to, off camera, do some more logs, get our bank account up. I'm going to mark the trail for the county, and I will likely have the county come in and grade up that trail for us. And then I will bring you back in, and we'll see where we are regarding the sawmill. I mean, we should make, well, not should, we will make more money if we own the sawmill and we can sell the products, but it takes longer for us to see that money. So I will build up a little bit of a bank account here just by selling the wood immediately, and so I'll continue with that off camera. But for now, I will leave you there. So it will likely be next month when I see you. But if you're still with me, really appreciate you sticking with it through that logging fiasco. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, I mean, why wouldn't you? Hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on New Frontier, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.